So are you one of the millions of people in America that burn firewood for heat? Hello everybody, it's Mr. Lawrence. LAF Space Film Fest. That's capital LAF Space Film Fest. Are you one of the millions of people that burn firewood? You ever wanted to do it, but you just really don't know how to get started? It's a nice way to keep yourself warm in the wintertime and to cut energy cost. Today is December 5th, 2020. I'd like to wish my son a happy birthday tomorrow, December 6th. Alex, happy birthday, buddy. There's several reasons I like to heat with firewood. Probably the main reason, you're self-contained. You have a heat source here, so in the middle of the winter time, it's 10 degrees outside, power goes off for whatever reason, ice storm, snowstorm, windstorm, grid goes down, I still have wood to heat my cabin. And that's pretty important. As long as you've got water, you got heat, you have some spare food, you're going to be okay for a while, especially in the dead of wintertime. And I wouldn't want to mislead anybody. It is a lot of work to cut firewood. Cut the wood, you got to haul it in, to split it up, you have to stack it, and then you got to bring it in piece by piece to heat your home. It's a lot of work, but I think it's rewarding. So today, I'm just going to make a short little video, show you how I happen to split my wood. If you're looking for a log splitter, this County Line is a good product. I got it at the Tractor Supply store. I've had it about 3 years, and it is really a good log splitter. It has some power, 25-ton gas log splitter. I didn't realize what this really meant when I bought it, but I see it now because I've used log splitters before, and it is fast. The return cylinder is quick to come out and quick. I think I probably have close to $1,000 in this log splitter. You can watch the sales. A lot of times they'll have them on sale. You'll get 10% off, 20% off. Now the one thing I want to say about an operation like this is it is extremely dangerous. You have to really pay attention. You got to watch your fingers, you got to watch your toes. Anything can go wrong when you're splitting wood. That's a lot of pressure. That's 25 tons of pressure pushing in a piece of wood that doesn't want to necessarily come apart. So you got to be careful. It takes a lot of experience. I highly recommend, if you decide to get into this, you decide to get into a log splitter, you decide to split firewood, get a hold of you with somebody with some experience that they can walk you through it, they can teach you, they can show you how many things could actually go wrong when it comes to splitting wood. Of course, you also have the other step of using a chainsaw. That's a whole nother universe in itself. You got to be careful with these tools because they are unforgiving. A lot of people have been hurt bad with these machines. So if you decide to do this, just use the precautions and take care. Dangerous operation. I have already cut giant pieces. Some of them were probably this big around. My log splitter actually goes into a vertical position, and that's how I cut the giant pieces into pieces that I can handle. Let me show you how that works. So there it is in the vertical position. Giant logs, because I can't lift them, I roll them into place. Splitter goes down, splits them into sections that I can handle. Now I'm in phase 2, where I've got them all split up into sizes that I can handle, and I'm going to show you how I run through them at that point. Pieces about this size work pretty good. Now I'm able to split them up. Give me a big pile going right here next to me. It's just a process. At this point right here, you just run them through. One thing I like to do is when I'm splitting, you'll get small pieces. Pieces like these here. It's nice to have a trash can sitting here, and I'll toss them in whenever they break off, and I'll just grab them And that way there, that makes excellent kindling. That's how I'll start my fire, with those small pieces that I'll collect right there. Now, you do an operation like this, make sure you have eye protection and ear protection. Really important. certain forces in this world that you just don't want to tangle with. Splitting firewood. There is so much pressure when you go to split a piece of wood. Anything can happen because the wood, if it's a straight piece of wood, the grain's running straight like a piece of oak, it'll just peel off like butter, like you're just slicing butter. But this here is ash, and a lot of times ash will grow, but when it grows, it seems like it kind of twists a little bit, especially if you have big limbs that have come into it or you have where the tree has separated. It can be extremely dangerous. When I first started splitting just now, I don't know if you noticed, but a piece just popped off. And I have seen pieces fly 10 feet, and it's just because of the amount of pressure being applied to that wood that has been holding on for 30, 40 years that just blows it apart. So the grains do not want to give up. So if you decide to do something like this, find somebody experienced, work with them, let them show you how it's done. You could easily lose a finger, have all five there, but I'm extremely careful. So you could lose a finger. I always wear steel-toe boots, eye protection, ear protection. Very, very important. So I hope you like this little video. This pile of wood I've split today will probably last a month and a half. So about 45 days, maybe even 60 days, all depends. The winters we have these days so far, today it is in the 40s. It's supposed to be in the 40s the next 10 days, and here it is getting into December. That's pretty good weather for southern Indiana. And that's the way it's been. Is one of the best wood stacking people I have ever met. She is precise, and it's so much help for me because I'm out here and I get the wood split. I build the mountain of wood and she comes in and grabs it and just stacks it all up nice and neat and does an excellent job. Just absolutely excellent. So thank you, Miss Melissa. I really appreciate that. We're a good team when it comes to working with firewood, stacking the firewood, cutting the firewood, putting it in the furnace, and keeping our cabin warm. Here's some of my arsenal of tools that I use in order to get the firewood cut, split up, stacked. It all takes a certain amount of tools in order to do the project. Start out with, takes a good chainsaw. And all chainsaws are not exactly the same. Personally, I've always went with steel. I like a steel chainsaw. This one right here is an MS 170. It's a small little chainsaw. It's good for trimming and limbs. I'll cut limbs up to about this big with it. Chop them all up. I like my little steel 170. Then I got the Farm Boss MS 290. Now this is what I'll fall a tree with, or I'll cut down the big pieces of wood with a chainsaw like this. A lot of power, but a steel chainsaw, you can't go wrong. Now here recently, what I've done is I've started adding a few more. One of them is this nice little Greenworks battery operated chainsaw. It takes a 40-volt lithium battery in it. This goes right inside. It's got an 8-inch bar on it. But this is nice to go out and just do some trimming. You know, sometimes I don't want to have to gas and oil my chainsaws all up. I don't want to fire them up. They're always so loud. Sometimes it's just nice to take this little thing out right here and just do some trimming on the trees. One tool that I bought that I really like, and that is this Greenworks, this extended arm chainsaw. Now this right here I have found is so nice. If you're trimming limbs on a tree, it's always better to be as far back as you can get. And with this, I can stand back and I can reach out and I can cut a limb off a tree. I like that. I think that's a lot safer than being on a ladder, being right next to a tree and trying to cut the limbs off, or climbing a tree and trying to cut them underneath you. This here works pretty good. I'm really happy. I'm happy with the Greenworks products. They seem to work really well. Of course, you can't forget your loppers. When it comes down to a lot of times the little tiny stuff about the size of your little finger, you just lop them. A good pair of loppers is important to have. Now when it comes to the chainsaws, it's important to keep them sharp. If they are not sharp, they don't operate right. You gotta work them a lot harder, which actually turns them into a little bit more dangerous than what they already are. It's like a dull knife. How many times have you ever heard a dull knife will cut you faster than a sharp knife? Well, it's the truth, because you're pushing on it harder, and when it breaks loose, that's when you get whacked. So you keep your chains sharp, and this little tool right here, very nice. I learned to use them, and now I can keep my chains as sharp as can be. Probably every time I go out and cut, I'll sharpen them both, and they'll be ready to go. I highly recommend it. Probably about $20, $25. If you're going to use a chainsaw, don't forget your bibs. Very important. This right here, these here could possibly save your life. If a chainsaw hits you full blast in the leg, it's not going to stop it. But you get those little glancing blows. Every once in a while a mistake will happen. This is the thing to have on right here. And these are steel. Always have a good helmet with a shield, ear protection, adjustable. Never cut firewood without a good helmet on. You could be cutting a tree, something fall out of it. This could save you right here. Very important. Once again, steel product. So that's my arsenal of tools. I've been collecting them for a long time. I'm buying new ones all the time. I'm improving. That's how you go along. If you're going to use firewood, if you're going to cut firewood, it's important to have the right tools and to do the job right. Thank you so much for coming to the channel. That's LAF Space Film Fest, capital LAF Space Film Fest. Hit that like button if this helps you. If you're one of the people that split wood and you saw a couple things that I do here that might help you, that's great. Put some comments, leave me some comments. Subscribe if you like. I've got all kind of videos posted on all the different projects that I do and a lot of travel that I do. I really appreciate you coming to the channel. Have a good day, and I hope you stay very warm this winter. All right, don't know what the next project will be, but I'm sure it's coming right on down the road. It's probably on my list in the house, waiting on me to mark off. Gotta love wintertime. I know I do.